I think the Positivity Project and focusing on a different character strength each week has actually really helped our instruction in our classroom. Teachers to use so that, the materials were already there available to them. So books that go along with lessons, video clips, activities for students to do with one another. So everything was already there and pieced together. So we actually, Indian Hill was lucky because we were given the resources available to start it off without having to, reinvent the wheel. We focus on, a character trait each week, and with that character trait, we will spend 20 minutes a day just talking about in depth. And so learning what exactly is empathy and what does it look like, what should it look like to you, how should it feel to you, how can you portray this character trait, why is this character trait important in your lives and also the lives of others. Even though you're spending that 20 minutes of instructional time devoted to just that character strength, it flows into all of your lessons throughout the day. In third grade, we focus on character development a lot in reading and writing, and I feel like the Positivity Project has actually helped me to really do a better job at teaching character, because we focus on, well, why is this character portraying this certain character strength? And students will say, well, because they're acting like this, they're saying this, and that's what we learned with the Positivity Project. When somebody acts like this or says this or thinks this or feels this, that's that character strength. So I feel like students have actually used Positivity Project in several core academic areas and has helped with their writing too. One of the things we just focused on was realistic fiction, and we had to develop a character, and the character had to go through a certain problem and had to find multiple ways at trying to solve this problem until it was resolved, and then how did the character change as a result of that conflict. And that's a pretty in-depth thing to teach a third grader, but focusing on character and different elements of character actually help them to come up with these really amazing plots and different ways that the character was trying to solve those conflicts and how they felt, and therefore how they became more empathetic or more brave in the end, and they were able to use all of that. I feel like this year they did the best job on their realistic fiction narratives and their character study in literature than any other year prior to, because of the Positivity Project and what we're teaching them.
I think that the teachers are realizing that this is more powerful than just sitting down and teaching a lesson every day. Like, the kids are really relating to this, and I think the kids are responding to it. Which when you're a teacher and the kids don't respond to something you're teaching, you're like, oh man, that was terrible, I'm gonna have to try something different. But when the kids are like picking up on it, you're like, wow, this is really rolling, I want to keep going with this. And so I think because of the way the students are responding to it, it's kind of pushing the teachers to go like, well, what else could I do? What else could I do that the kids are excited about and want to learn more about it?
In science, in math, in every different subject area, it's really important for students to have that common experience. And the Positivity Project does that for students. Not just like a common science experiment, it's that common language and that vocabulary and that same understanding. And I think that has been really important, and it's school-wide where we all have that same language, and it's really helped our kids to be able to communicate with one another, and it even comes through at home.
So in today's lesson, we always, every day when we start out the lesson, talk about what the character trait of the week is. And so for the last 2 weeks, we focused on love. The first lesson, they're like, oh, what does it mean to get married? I'm like, no, well, it does, but I'm like, you don't have to marry somebody to show them that you love them. You can love multiple people in many different ways. But it was funny because the first day they were kind of embarrassed to talk about. They're all looking around like, oh, it's love, like, who's got a crush on who. But then at the end, they realize, love is a really cool thing. And every day we start out the lesson by kind of looking at that learning target or learning goal, as we call it. And for Positivity Project, the learning goal has said that I can value close relationships with others and being close to people. And so we always reiterate, like, why is that important to you? Why is that important to others? Going along with that whole frame of reference of other people matter. And so we always start out the lesson with referring to that. Everything in this world desires to be loved. And in order to feel loved, it's more important to show love, right? Because when you show love, all of that good stuff comes right back to you. And then we each day go into something different. And today we decided that we were going to create a heart, and in each of the little different sections of the heart, we were going to include something that we love, and it could be a friend, a mentor, a family member, because we've talked a lot about over the last week that love comes in many different shapes and sizes and forms, and we can love several different people. Think about that. Think about what we've been talking about for 2 weeks. Think about the movie that we just watched, and you guys are going to have some time right now to fill in this heart however you want. I had some friends ask me, well, do I have to draw a picture in each of the different sections? No, this is how you interpret love and how you interpret what your heart looks like, okay? So whatever you want to do to represent that, that's up to you, because they shouldn't all look the same, right? Today they were able to actually write it out and display it. Now that we've talked about it, now we'll be able to display it in the classroom, which will be fun, because they all, turned out really different from one another, but yet the same.